Mr. Bud, as a market leader, which lessons could you bring for the Brazilian sector?
Well, I think Brazil's got a unique opportunity because you've got so much work to do to develop the aviation industry in Brazil. You've got the opportunity to learn many of the lessons that have been learned around the world, quite often at a very high cost. You know, in Europe and North America now, it's quite common for airport development to be constrained not by the number of runways or the size of the terminal, but by the environmental impact that the airport is having on its local communities. And if we'd planned these things with a little more foresight 20, 30 years ago, a lot of those problems could be avoided. So I think Brazil has got an opportunity to learn from some of the challenges which we are now facing. And it's quite interesting. I work a lot in China, and China has adopted a very rigorous planning procedure to its airport development. So airports tend to be developed outside of the cities. The zoning around the airports is controlled so that there are complementary developments. I think this is one of the things that Brazil needs to take very seriously in the major developments that are going to be happening in the future.
Tell us a bit, how can you combine growing with sustainability, taking into account your experience in it?
Well, this is always a challenging question. I think for the world to be sustainable, we have to give people opportunities, and we have to work together in a much more cohesive way than we have done to date. So it's huge. The aviation industry has got a huge job to do in building bridges between nations, between continents. Now, that inevitably has environmental impacts. So what we have to do is to develop our aviation infrastructure, our aeroplanes, our airports, in a way to minimise that impact, but still get the benefit for our people in having a much more joined up global economy. So yes, there are environmental impacts, but we need to manage those. And they can be managed extremely effectively if we do it correctly with enough forethought. Not just rushing in, but actually thinking about the long-term solutions for our aviation industry.